Hello, beautiful souls. How y'all doing today? If you're new here, welcome. I'm Brainy, and this is Brainy Twin Gemini, where we talk about unconditional love, the purest form of love, soul health, growth, prosperity, all good things. Today, I will be doing an energy share as it resonates for twin flame, soulmate, divine love, fated connection, however you reconcile this most beautiful gift of love in your precious sacred heart. I kind of do everything from a masculine perspective, what's in their current heart space, if they could say anything to their beautiful divine counterpart, what would it be? And the overall energy of this beautiful dynamic collective. So I want to say something right now. I feel a huge shift in this collective. Source has told me that there's a lot of vibration, trembling, also your preparation for you to come back into physical harmony. So I love that also very much. If you feel this weird sensation in your body, this trembling, this shaking, it could represent a lot of things. But in my case, when I was in physical separation, I went through this a number of times, and it was preparation. And it's your heart's syncing and aligning in the third dimensional world. So it's this weird, crazy vibration. So if you're feeling it, very good. I'm very happy for you. Also, too, I missed you also very much. A lot's been going on with me personally. As many of you know, I work full-time in finance, and there was a huge data breach cyber attack on my company, and it pretty much shut it down for the last week. All systems are offline. So I've been dealing with that kind of low vibration, believe it or not. And a funny story here. So as you know, this journey is all about clearing karma and, karmic cycles and just low vibration. So I think it was in the beginning of May, my boss had said to me that I was likely going to lose my job in July or August. They're looking to reduce headcount. In fact, our corporate head office is located in the United States, and they've already outsourced 5,000 people in the US. So when he told me this in May, I was a little in shock, and I, went through all of the stages of grief, came to just let it go, gave it to God, surrendered it, just said whatever is meant to be, it's in God's hands now. And literally 2 weeks later, there was a cyber attack. So there's power in giving things to God. That's all I can say. Great power. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. So again, I missed you all so very much. And just a reminder, I do personal energy shares. I've had beautiful, wonderful success with the people that I've done the energy share with. Some of them are like, it's just wild how I can tap into others' energy. It's a gift, hence the reason why I do this. It's a gift I want to give back to you. So just go to my website, book there. I'm a little bit behind, 2 to 3 weeks, obviously because of what just happened at work and dealing with that. So yeah, feel free to book an energy share with me. I'd love to, hear your story, connect, and see if I can help in any way. So the masculine energy is what I want to say, like in this high vibration mode and aligning all of their chakras in the third dimensional world. And with that comes uncomfort, but it also gives wisdom and knowledge. And they absolutely 100% know that there's something very dynamic about your connection. They realize that this is a very sacred union, which in turn is, I want to say, manifesting into reunion. Another thing the masculine is kind of going right now is they're stepping into their divine feminine energy, which is beautiful. Why is that beautiful? Because this journey, we are meant to get that healthy balance of yin and yang energy, masculine and feminine energy. And sometimes we're dominant in one other energy, and that's what can keep us stuck. Now, divine feminine energy is very nurturing, motherly, loyal, just very, very, very loving energy. And for the masculine to step into that, it's wonderful because they're coming into that balance. When you come into that balance, you're so close. But another thing about the divine feminine energy right now is as this masculine goes through this metamorphosis of themselves, they realize that you are their divine feminine in the third dimensional world, which is absolutely beautiful. So I want to say divine feminine energy is very, very, very powerful right now in the masculine's energy. So I love that. I feel like feminine energy, you are coming to the masculine more and more frequently in a different realm. And you're giving the masculine confidence about this connection. Hence the reason why they're stepping into that energy. And you're nurturing them in a different dimension. And what that's doing, it's melting away the denial. Now, denial is one of those things that's very prominent in the masculine energy, because when you come together, you awaken each other instantly. And they always denied that love. It's not like it wasn't there. It's always there. It can't be severed. It's unconditional love. But they kept listening to the rubbish of thought instead of, the voice of the heart. So they were denying that voice of the heart. Well, you're coming in and giving them the confidence and the courage to tell them telepathically that this is truly your connection. So that's just kind of melting away from them, because that's the one thing that binds this masculine from any movement forward. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Your masculine energy right now is, the masculine's energy right now is also, their intuition is very, very amplified. When you come into each other, I feel like you open up your intuition for each other, and it's like it's on steroids. But I think it may be, something happened with the recent full moon, and the masculine's intuition has come back in full force. If you don't listen to that inner guide or that intuition, sometimes it gets taken away. So you have to get back into your faith and unconditional love. And because they've come to all of this beautiful wisdom and they're stepping into that divine feminine energy, their intuition is coming back. And their intuition is really, really encouraging them to have trust, faith, and believe in your soul connection. It's exactly what this is. If they could say anything to you right now, what would it be? Well, obviously they're ascending. And I always look at ascension as almost climbing a ladder. There's various stages. You ascend higher and higher and higher. And they're getting to that highest point of themselves. And hence the vibration, hence the trembling, shaking, because as you ascend, you have this very, very bizarre, is the best way to describe it, I want to say, trembling. I went through it a number of times. I was like my body was vibrating. And that's the masculine wanting you to know that they know what this is all about. They're ascending. But one very important thing, and what got them to that point, was their inner child was very, very wounded. Now that's systemic from childhood. And they walked their path of life with it. It was there, but it was never acknowledged. And as they grow spiritually and soulfully, they've acknowledged that inner child. They've spoke to that inner child, and they've come to terms with a lot of the past trauma. That's one of those things that is so, so important. We, many of us, unfortunately, suffer trauma. And even though we think we've released it, it's still part of who we are. It's always going to be part of who you are. It's the acknowledgement. It's so, so fundamental on this journey. Acknowledging that that's who you are. That's your, I want to say, your soul blueprint, so to speak. And it's how you navigate and forward with that acknowledgement. And I love that so much. They want you also to pay attention, particularly today, to the signs and synchronicity, because your masculine is sending you signs. So pay close attention. They're meaningful and they are coming from your masculine energy. So pay attention to them today. They're going to be deep and profound. You're not going to be looking for them. They're actually sending them to you. But alternatively, they want you to know that they are asking for signs and synchronicities as well, to give them confirmation of this connection, because this connection is riddled with doubt and fear, regrettably. So they're sending them to you, and they're also asking for them. But by the grace of God, divine, universe, source, however you resonate, they're receiving them, and so are you. So you're in sync. You may not feel it, but you are. And lastly, there's a few more messages, but they want you to remain in faith. If you're not new here, you know that this is one of the fundamental elements of this journey, staying in faith. You're going to be tested. You're going to be on your knees. There's going to be times where you just are like, no. And this is BS. This is, garbage. It's a test of your will, and it's a test of your faith. I'm living proof of this. I'm back with my twin by the grace of God. And I went through the most difficult time, but I also grew in a way that I don't think I would ever have if I'd never met this beautiful soul. But the one thing I always did was remain in faith. Like I said, there was times I'd wander away, but I always migrated back to it. And you will be rewarded for your faith, believe me. A couple of other messages are, it's difficult for me too. Sometimes we get blinded by our own, I want to say sorrow of separation, because it's very difficult, because it seems like cruel punishment. You are presented with the most beautiful gift and blessing, and then it just gets taken away. It gets taken away for a reason. And that one of those reasons is to see if you'll migrate back to your faith. And it is difficult for the masculine. I know that when my masculine and I were in separation, it was very difficult for him. And he would, when we got back to physical harmony, he would often say things like, I could not get you out of my head, or my heart. And he was like, what is with this woman? But he didn't understand. He couldn't reconcile. And eventually he came to reconcile what this was all about. He came to the knowledge of twin flames, all of this stuff. Why do you think that is? Because God led him there. And by the grace of God, we are together. I want to talk about this. Let go of the negative thoughts. I feel the energy. You are mirror souls. You transfer energy back and forth. Sometimes it can become a perpetual cycle of negativity, but also sometimes it's not your fault, because we are surrounded with low vibration and negative energy. And I'll give you an example. So my beloved soul and I are running a non-for-profit, and love for you to be a part of it, by the way. And we were doing a charity event on the weekend. We were feeding the homeless. We were giving all sorts of care packages to the people on the streets, or anyone that wanted to come in and take them and give these bags. They're called brown bag blessings to any homeless people that they may know. And there was this beautiful gentleman, beautiful, I want to say light being, just radiated light from his heart. And he was an older gentleman. I think he was about 75. And he was talking about how, it's funny how you find like-minded people. The rubbish of your thought can just really tarnish your journey in life, and always to follow the voice of your heart. Well, my beautiful soul and I are like, how does this always happen to us? We're out and we attract this beautiful, beautiful light, and just like-minded. And then right after that, he took a couple bags. He said, God bless you both. May you have long life. You're beautiful people for doing what you're doing. Not one literally second later, this negative person came. And we had toothbrushes with little toothpaste, like a package. And the guy's like, are those syringes? And I was like, are you serious? So for every time there's light, there's always that darkness that trails. So us as light beings and disciples of unconditional love, we're just meant to radiate our light. All I did was smile at this guy. From ear to ear, there was no words. He was saying that the whole world should be blown up by a nuclear, and just a few thousand people should stay on Earth. And and then he points to me and says, maybe you'll be the one that stays here. This is the world we live in. So I know sometimes it's not your energy, because we are in such a low vibration, but let go of the negative energy. They also want you to know that I lie awake manifesting our love 100%. They manifest a life. They're manifesting the love. They're putting it out there because they want it back, and more than you think they do. So I love that. And obviously these cards are crazy how they come out. Don't lose faith in our love. Faith is all over this today. Faith, science and synchronicity, divine feminine energy, so many, many beautiful things. As you know, this is a journey of awakening. That's what you do. You come and wake each other up from a sleep. I want to say a soul sleep, so to speak. And Kundalini activation is one of those elements on this journey. So I feel like you awaken, and then you go and you purify and you cleanse. And there's obviously chakras. There's 7 of them, and they're also known as body connections. And today, ironically, the chakra that's opening, purifying, and cleansing, or I always say requires some purification and cleansing, is the 3rd chakra, and that's the solar plexus. And it's located just above the belly button. It governs the pancreas, the spleen, gallbladder, and nervous system. It is the center for emotional sensitivities and issues of personal power. When developed, it improves our personal power, energy, and effectiveness. 100%. This is a journey of standing in your personal power and taking your power back. Your beautiful, loving, empathetic soul. And people are energy vampires, and they take advantage of your kindness and your love. But you have to stand in your personal power and take your power back. And also too, this journey can leave you very powerless, so you have to take it back if you can. And I'll put that solar plexus video up within this video. Focus on the color yellow. Give yourself that time, because this journey can take you to some dark destinations, but it's often us who takes us there, and the rubbish of thought. And it's sometimes really hard to break that cycle. So I think the best way today is, if you got your cell phone, plug in and listen to that solar plexus outside in nature, because I feel like that's where you're going to receive these deep and profound signs and synchronicity. So what's the overall energy? Well, beautiful, love it. Inner child is coming out again, collectively. So I feel like some of you may have to acknowledge that inner child. I'm here to help you with that too. If you, like I said, I do offer like coaching, energy shares, all sorts of stuff. It's very, very important. I'm a very, very firm believer of journaling and writing it down and saying, yes, I acknowledge the trauma. And one of the most important things is it's not your fault. How could a child be responsible for trauma? So maybe there's some inner child work that needs to be done. Maybe I'll do a video on it, inner child work to help you out. I see communication, and that is, to me, beautiful. Now, this communication can come by way of sign and synchronicity, but it can come from your divine counterpart as well. I feel like something wild and magical is happening as we speak. Collectively, this collective is coming together, and it's so, so beautiful. I want to talk about this regret as well. So maybe that's the negative energy that's coming out. It's difficult. There's a lot of regret. I can give you an example. So silly me, when we were first together, I said, after 6 weeks, and I did regret this after, I said, I think I love you. And to me, that was afterwards, I was like, I couldn't unsend what I already sent. And I said, I felt it was too quick. And I feel like that really scared my masculine, away, and it did. It really did. The conversations got less and less, and till it was non-existent. And there's also regret on the masculine side because they never ever would hurt their precious, beautiful, divine feminine. This is the dynamic of the journey. You have to go your separate ways to do your soul work. But I do feel like the masculine is shedding the regret and the denial. So I feel like that's more masculine energy, but feminine energy, is there something that you've done, I want to say, over the last 24 to 48 hours that you regret? It could be anything. Have you fallen off a wagon, or, gone back to old habits or something? Negative thought patterns, being bitter, not better. Just get back on that soul train of love, and faith, and you will easily that stuff will melt away. And the most beautiful element of this message and energy share is miracles. Now, you are each other's miracle, believe it or not. This is a blessing and a miracle. It doesn't always seem that way, but you are each other's miracle, and you guide each other in realms outside of the physical realm. It's hard because this is where we live day to day, in the physical realm. But what you do for each other is an absolute 100% miracle. Awakening, Kundalini activation, healing trauma, clearing karma. There's so much. Bringing you closer to your faith, unconditional love. How could this not be a miracle? So I think that's what we need to get back to. This is a miracle. And if you start believing that this is a miracle and a blessing, then a miracle and a blessing will come your way. I love it. And as you know, signs, synchronicities, are serendipity part of your day-to-day now. No denying it. You're not even looking for it. And sometimes you're even running from it. But today, the feminine animal spirit message is, ironically, Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. Exactly, reclaim your power. And as I said earlier, sometimes this can leave you powerless, but you're such a kind, kindred soul. And there's energy vampires out there taking advantage of you. Stand in your power. You can do everything in a loving way and take your power back. So beautiful message, love it. Masculine animal spirit message today is dragonfly spirit, truth transcends illusion. Now, What I love about the dragonfly is it also represents rebirth, but truth transcends illusion. So 100%, the truth of the heart will not steer you in the wrong direction, masculine energy. Just have faith and trust that this is definitely your sacred union, divine feminine, twin soul. It does transcend the illusion of the delusion of your thought. Now, I do have to say that this is crazy. The number on the Panther Spirit card is 44. And the number on the Dragonfly Spirit card is 22. So, kind of freaky. Love that. What's the overall energy? Love this one even more. It's Hawk Spirit. It's number 32, by the way. And it's let spirit be your guide. Let God be your guide. And as many of you know, the hawk is so close to my heart. Never ever saw one until I was in physical separation. It was perched on the back of an ornamental apple tree. It was like, what is it? I had to Google it. I didn't even know what it was. Every single freaking day did I not see a hawk when we were in physical separation. And 3 days before we came back into physical harmony, one flew 2 feet from my shoulder, and I was like, that's it. Let God be your guide. 100%. Give it to God. Have faith. Don't be a prisoner. Don't be powerless. Stand in your power, and you will see the miracles and the magic come your way. So that's what I have for you, beautiful souls, today. Again, if any of this resonates, kindly hit like, subscribe, comment. Love your comments. And one thing I would ask your beautiful souls, if you could, support my beloved soul and I on our mission, on our non-for-profit. We're getting out there into the community, out into the world, raising awareness of some of the challenges we face. There's homelessness. There's our planet is just, it's bleak. Our people, we're trying to get the word out there. We're trying to change, because if we don't change, I don't know how much longer humans are going to exist on this earth. Why do you think we were selected for this journey? It's not a coincidence. We're disciples of change, and you can help us by a small donation, for as small as a cup of coffee. This would help us so much. The administration, I work oodles and oodles of hours to get that website up, to offer free resources, webinars, going out into the community, feeding, cleaning, doing whatever we can. So whatever you can do to help, you're helping our collective consciousness here on Earth. And with that being said, have a beautiful, beautiful, magical day.